Good morning.
Good morning.
Let's start with prayer, and I'm going to ask Erica if you would start with prayer, please.
Dear God, thank you for letting your son die on the cross to forgive our sins. Be with the speaker as we learn more about our word. Thank you for everything you've given to us, and be with the sick people. Just in pray, amen.
Thank you. Have any of you ever written any proverbs? Come up with your own little sayings, like a proverb? I bet you have.
Those times I thought I've done it and found out it was quoted a long time ago.
Somebody else came up with it. Well, Solomon did. According to 1 Kings 4:32, he spoke 3,000 proverbs and 1,005 songs. According to Ecclesiastes 12:9, he pondered, searched out, and arranged many proverbs. Only about 800 of his 3,000 proverbs are included in the book of Proverbs. We're going to be turning to Proverbs 31, but first I'm going to tell you that some young people were asked for some proverbs, and this is what they came up with. Patrick, age 10, said, "Never trust a dog to watch your food." I like this one. Eileen, age 8, said, "Never try to baptize a cat." Randy, age 9, said, "Stay away from prunes." And one last one. Naomi, age 15, said, "If you want a kitten, start out by asking for a horse." Not bad advice. So we're going to turn to Proverbs 31 and read 10 through 31 and talk about a virtuous woman, but more specifically, since today's Mother's Day, what it takes to be a good mother. Okay, so starting at Proverbs 31:10, we'll start with Mackenzie and just read around the group.
Just one apiece.
Just one apiece.
Who can find a virtuous woman, for her price is far above rubies?
The heart of her husband doth safely trust in her, so that he shall have no need of spoil.
She does good for her husband all her life. She never causes him trouble.
She seeks wool and flax and works with willing hands.
She is like the merchant's ships, she bringeth forth her food from afar.
She also rises while it is yet night, and provides food for her household, and a portion for her maidservant.
She considereth a field and buyeth it. With the fruit of her hands she planteth a vineyard.
She girdeth her loins with strength and strengthened her arms.
She perceiveth that her merchandise is good, her candle goeth not out by night.
She makes her own thread and weaves her own cloth.
She opens her hand to the poor and reaches out to the hands to the needy.
She is not afraid of the snow for her household, for all her household are clothed with scarlet.
She makes tapestry for herself. Her clothing is fine linen and purple.
Her husband is known in the gates when he sitteth among the elders of the land.
She maketh fine linen and selleth it, and delivereth girdles unto the merchant.
Strength and honor are her clothing, and she shall rejoice in time to come.
She speaks with wisdom and teaches others to be loving and kind.
She looks well to the ways of her household, and does not eat the bread of idleness.
Her children arise up and call her blessed, her husband also, and he praiseth her.
Many daughters have done well, but you excel them all.
Favor is deceitful and beauty is vain, but a woman that feareth the Lord, she shall be praised.
Give her the fruit of your hands, and let her own works praise her in the gates.
So what are some of the big takeaways from this?
Hard to find a good woman.
Hard to find a good woman.
In the easy to read version, that first verse says, "How hard is it to find the perfect wife? She's worth far more than jewels." And it's just, if you They have a problem understanding what King James says. Sometimes it's helpful to go to the other translations just to.
Verse 15 kind of resonated with me. She riseth also while it is yet night and giveth meat to her household. I think of getting up at midnight to put the turkey on the grill for Thanksgiving. It sounds like women never, or a good woman is constantly busy. Like, there's not much rest for a good wife or a good mother. What are some of the other takeaways that you got from this?
Well, it says in verse 13, she worketh willingly with her hands, and the easy to read version says she enjoys making things with her hands. And I'm thinking that's kind of synonymous, but why? Because you look at it and say, look what I built, or what I made, or whatever, because a guy sometimes does that. I remember my mom making things, and she never patted herself on the back. She just handed it to you, and
Yeah, it's not necessarily something they have to do, but we have to do by choice. It's just, you have to do it, so you do it and you move on.
she
And
didn't have to do
It's a
something.
good creative
Right.
outlet too. This is probably news for everybody else, but STEM, I didn't realize there's the newer one, STEAM, and the A in there is for art. And it is important. God gave us those creative outlets for a reason, and I think we need to have that to be a balanced person.
Okay, what's STEM? Excuse me.
Science, technology, engineering,
Math.
and the arts and math. And I think
Yes.
they've realized in recent years that the arts go right along with it, that you need the arts for your brain to complete. When you're doing things like playing a musical instrument, you are using your entire brain. And so that helps with all of those other areas.
Yeah, it's changed recently from STEM to STEAM, and that is a really important designation, I think.
So the women that they're talking about here, they're an excellent wife and mother. She's a manufacturer, she's an importer, a manager, a realtor, a farmer, a seamstress, a upholsterer, a merchant. So she pretty much does it all. Her strength and dignity do not come from her amazing achievements, however. They are a result of her reverence to God. So that's really important to keep in mind as well. The Bible has a lot to say about women and motherhood. In fact, the word mother appears 320 times in the Bible, 227 times in the Old Testament, and 93 times in the New Testament. Let's take a look at Judges 5:7. And whoever's turn it is can read that. Judges 5:7.
The inhabitants of the villages ceased. Right? Okay.
Mhm.
They ceased in Israel until that I, Deborah, arose a mother in Israel.
Every nation needs good mothers. The United States needs good mothers. Israel needs good mothers. Everywhere we need to have good mothers. And there's no substitute for a good godly mother. 2 Chronicles 22, verse 3.
Isaiah also lived in the way Ahab's family lived because his mother encouraged him to do wrong things.
Yeah, so mothers can be good mothers and they can be bad mothers that advise you to do wrong things. We're told to honor our parents, to honor your father and mother. That's only if your parents are in alignment with the Lord. Obviously, if your mother tells you to go out and kill somebody, David, are you going to do that? Let's hope not.
Let's hope you didn't tell him that.
John 19:27. Let's read verses 25 through 27.
John 19.
Yes. 25 through 27.
Therefore the soldiers did these things, but standing by the cross of Jesus were his mother and his mother's sister, Mary the wife of Clopas, and Mary Magdalene. When Jesus then saw his mother, and the disciple whom he loved standing nearby, he said to his mother, Woman, behold your son. Then he said to the disciple, Behold your mother. From that hour the disciple took her and took into his own household.
I find it interesting that 1/7 of the recorded words of the Lord on the cross dealt with his mother. And even in dying, Jesus provided the care of his mother. That was one of the last things that he was concerned about right before he died. What do mothers do? What are some of the things that they do for you?
Grow.
They grow?
Yeah.
Help you grow? Or be more, can you expound on that?
They help us grow and they grow themselves, like, just in general.
Being a mother is a learning
Yeah.
process. So we do grow as we learn how we should treat our children and how we shouldn't. What else do mothers do?
They make you laugh.
They make you cry.
Okay.
They make you laugh, they make you cry.
They're there for the emotional support.
Yes.
They keep us well in health.
Healthy and well, yep.
Well, but they're also usually the ones that are there for discipline too. Wait till your father gets home doesn't always work, you know.
So mothers teach logic. That's one of the things they do. For example, they may say, if you fall off that swing and break your neck, you can't go to the store with me.
Have you said that?
No, but I've said similar things. Or if everyone jumped off a cliff, would you do it too? So, as we go through these, I'd like to see if we can come up with some verses that maybe show the point we're trying to make, or like an example. So mothers teach logic. Can you think of anybody, any stories in the Bible where a mother is teaching their children logic?
Well, I don't know about a story that teaches the mother's teaching, but I'm thinking of Solomon. Had a lot of wisdom and knowledge, and who raised him? I mean, his dad was there, David, but who raised Solomon? His mother. Well,
and when you said Solomon, I was thinking you were going to talk about the one with the two mothers,
Yeah.
where they came in
Right,
and
he showed logic there, but then the mother whose child that really was alive showed logic in the fact that she wanted her child to live, you know.
right.
I don't know if this is logic, but it's in like Timothy, when Timothy's mom and grandma teach him the word.
Yep. Mothers also teach medicine. If you don't stop crossing your eyes, you're going to freeze that way. But they teach you how to take care of yourselves.
You know this old saying that that's an old wives' tale or an old mother's remedy or something like that. Sometimes it's true.
Yeah.
Actually,
Sometimes.
most of the time.
Yeah, sometimes those old remedies do work. Can you think of anything, any story where that would be the lesson learned? Mothers teach how to take care of yourself, or like a medicine, something to do with that. And it doesn't have to be like you take medicine, but it could be like just getting enough sleep or anything along those lines, dealing with mental health too.
What was your question? Actual
That mothers teach medicine. Is there anything, any verses that come to mind?
Well, this wasn't a mother teaching medicine, but receiving was Mary. When Jesus was born, they brought them medicinal things.
Mhm.
Frankincense and myrrh are very medicinal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's good.
Which I'm sure she used later.
Someone had.
Are you talking about Shamgar had an
Yeah.
ox goad?
Yeah.
Ma-
Who had
Mary
the
had-
Mary.
Mary had the ointment.
She had the ointment she put on Jesus' feet.
Yeah,
Never
that
mind.
too. Yeah, so
There's
that's a
still-
good example.
yeah.
That's actually a really good example of that.
Was that the same one where she used her hair to wipe his feet?
Yeah.
Okay,
That's the same story. Yeah.
okay,
Mhm.
yeah.
Mothers teach you to meet a challenge. Mothers are encouraging. That one's a little tougher, I think.
Keep coming back to the story in my mind where that woman with the tent stake killed that guy.
Was it a mother that did that, or
I
a
don't know
woman?
if she was a mother or not, but.
Okay.
Maybe some mental health.
No.
Well,
Well,
that was kind of the opposite.
she uses her resources
Right.
in different ways, creative ways. Oh. Where, do you know where that
I
story
was
is
trying to
from?
find it, yeah, I'm not sure.
I'm not sure where that story is located. Well, David met a challenge with Goliath, and he may have gotten some of his strength from his mother. I'm not sure if it's talked about.
Judges 4, I'm sorry.
Judges 4.
Jael was her name. 4:17-18.
Can you read those for us?
The sister ran away to the tent where a woman named Jael lived. Jael was the wife of Heber the Kenite. His family was at peace with King Jabin of Hazor, and that is why sister ran to Jael's tent. When Jael saw him coming, she went out to meet him and said, "Sir, come into my tent, come in, don't be afraid." So sister went into Jael's tent and she covered him with a blanket. But first sister asked for a drink of water. Jael had some milk in a bottle made from animal skin, so she gave him drink of the milk and then covered him. So sister said to Jael, "Go stand at the entrance to the tent. If anyone comes by and asks you, 'Is anyone here?' say no." But Jael found a tent peg and a hammer. She quietly went to sister. Sister was very tired, so he was sleeping. She put the tent peg to the side of sister's head and hit her with a hammer. The tent peg went through the side of his head into the ground, and sister died.
We didn't talk about
That's-
that one in the women list.
She did.
Did we?
was
I missed a couple weeks. I should stop talking about it.
And we skipped down to 23, so God subdued on that day Jabin the king of Canaan before the sons of Israel. So,
That's one thing I didn't think would come up today.
I don't even remember why that popped up now.
Well, you were talking about thinking mental health, and
Oh.
yeah, I don't know. Yep.
I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
Mothers teach about justice. One of the things a lot of times mothers say. One day you will have children of your own, and I hope they turn out just like you.
Oh,
That's happened to you.
yes, my mom told that to me.
Did she?
Yes,
Did your children turn out just like you?
at times.
the boys at Andrew's house came up and asked her, "We're gonna dig you a hole." And they said, "Why do I need a hole?" "Well, we're gonna get an early start on your grade." And I thought, that is just like her.
Yes. Other important things that mothers teach include love, faith, empathy. We could probably turn to the fruits of the Spirit and read through that list in Galatians. Galatians 5, verses 22 through 26. And I think we're going to go ahead and conclude with this. But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long-suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith, meekness, temperance. Against such there is no law. And they that are Christ have crucified the flesh with the affections and lusts. If we live in the Spirit, let us also walk in the Spirit. Let us not be desirous of vain glory, provoking one another, envying one another. So as we're reading through 22 and 23 especially, all of those things are taught to you as you're growing up. And a lot of times you're being taught by your mother.
But if you're not being taught this, then you're being like that one woman where she led her son astray.
Yeah, we don't want to be teaching verses 19 through 21.
Right.
We want to be teaching 22 and 23.
My mother was my school teacher for a while.
Oh, she was?
Yeah, she was a substitute.
Ah, interesting.
She probably didn't give me all A's either.
Probably not. She was probably a tough teacher.
Keep you right in line. I'm sure you weren't ornery at all.
No, of course not.
Oh, no.
Was that in a one-room schoolhouse? Was that in a one-room schoolhouse?
Yeah, that
Was she
was
tough?
country school.
Our parents weren't teachers, but they kept an eye on us at school because they both worked at the school, and we couldn't get away with much.
Yeah, trying to eat your stew.
Oh, I know. For me, it's 3 means.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah. And I didn't want people to know that she was my mother, and so even in 6th grade, a lot of my classmates didn't know. And I thought that I could sass back and talk back to her at recess.
Oh, no.
She swatted my butt, and boy, did that make other people turn their heads. 'Cause they didn't know she was my mom. And they were like, ooh, they were even more scared than normal. They were scared of her already.
I think she had some of the faculty scared of her.
Probably.
It's like in Galatians, there's 13, my goodness, 13 things you can do wrong. And so it's like, man, and 9 things you can do right. So it's not that hard, really, in comparison to do things right.
No, it just takes practice. Just like everything else in life.
And it stems from what your normal is too.
Yeah.
Because did you grow up with that, and is that what you learned when you were little in your formative years? Maybe, maybe not.
I think we're all lucky that we had good mothers. 'Cause I just think, for some reason, I just think of Ma Barker. Remember her?
No.
I think it was Ma Barker.
Is that from a TV show?
No, she was an old-time gangster woman. She raised
Oh.
two children.
Okay.
That, I think that was from here, I can't mean, her children all ended up dying, and she died, you know, from that, but.
I was in one of, I think everybody's seen Goonies, right?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Little mother in that one.
Yes. She's also on Throw Mama from the Train.
Yeah.
That's it. We can talk more about the mothers if we want.